Satya Dharma Reflection on April 28, 2022. When there is the grabbing to the karma, because of the delusive attachment that is grabbing there, it's become karmic difficulties. All movements is karma. It's called forming up of karma. So let's conclude through the essence to purify simultaneously. Then it will not turn into karmic difficulties or karmic retributions. Karmic cycle within samsara is because the karma returns itself because there is no purification in itself. The formed up is through karma and it returns its own way, the same patterns. Everything is karma. It's formed up. Looking, seeing and knowing is all karma. Formed up itself is karma. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, has to be like a foundation to purify. Disregard, even from the disregard itself, as a foundation, so that it will purify the form up of karma simultaneously. Because karma happens at all times. Works also karma. Within form and formlessness, body and mind that is formed up, the karma is already there. It's behavioral karma. Even the neutrality, actions that is neutral, is also neutral karma. This happens at all times. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, has to be like a foundation to purify at all times. Instead of analyzing, criticizing, doubt, hesitate, or being stupid, disregard, there is no need to practice the samudaya in whatever ways. That is restless samudaya, straying samudaya. Analyzing, distinguishing, that is samudaya, that is restless. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, as a foundation, right away. Be the essence right away, as a foundation. Amidst all and everything, purify it. Purify even the beingness of being amidst all the beingness. All the form up is used in the way of karmic difficulties, which is the samudaya in itself. There is no need to try to use the mind in whatever ways too much. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, right away, beyond the mind that is good or bad, beyond loving kindness, beyond having compassion or not. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, as a foundation instantly, beyond the mind, beyond the heart. With this, there will always be a purification at all times. Therefore, the conclusion, the enlightenment for samsara has to be like a foundation, giving the cutting as a foundation. There is no need to add more. There is no need to be attached or detached in whatever ways. Cut through right away. Giving the cut through for samsara. There is no need to practice anything. There is no need to practice the body and the mind or the Dharma in whatever ways. The cutting is already there, that is given. Therefore, just continue so. To practice the body and mind in whatever ways again. That is not following the enlightenment, not following the cutting. Follow the cutting. What is there to be followed? What else to be followed? Following the Buddhas in the practice is not the way. You have to follow the cutting. What kind of practice to follow? One sentence is to cut through instantly. Even one sentence is not to be grabbed at all. It is purifying within such a sentence already. Therefore, it's not about practice Dharma, body and mind in whatever ways. The essence of the enlightenment, which is the cut through, the knowing, follow it, disregard even from the disregard itself, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. This is all about the essence of cutting deluded knowing, the essence of the enlightenment, to help samsara. There is not much. If being deluded to use wisdoms, be like a master of wisdom, that is the samudaya that is straying. There is no purification of the extinction and emptiness directly. Being obsessed to practice karmic habits, which is formed up to take all that mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, insight, and wisdom, that is formed up of karma within Dharma. That's why it's turned into karmic habits. This is all about samudaya, causes of suffering and suffering in itself. There is no need to practice in whatever ways, not about trying to tie up and solve in whatever ways. It's not having to do with ways or how. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself, as it is. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Let it be a foundation for the extinction to purify all and everything simultaneously amidst the body and the mind, amidst the internal and the external of the form and formlessness, amidst everything in the way of purifying, not in the way of oneself amidst all. You have to be amidst everything without having something amidst anything. Has to purify right away through the extinction and the emptiness, through Nirodha. It has to be in such a way. This is not the middle way. Be direct to the essence of cutting deluded knowing right away. Direct through the essence of the enlightenment. This is not to follow knowing. Cut through deluded knowing. Following the cutting. Disregard, even from the disregard itself, is all about the essence, which has nothing to do with interpretations furthermore. The illusions, the image is elusive, is not real, is temporary, existing. Just like all situations is like elusive images. It's the state that is temporary, is shifting and changing at all times. Don't cling to it, don't grab it at all times. having to do like this, like that at all times. That is karma. That is the delusion and delusive attachment that overlays. Having to do like this, like that is the delusion, desire, and delusive attachment that overlays. Everything is shifting and changing at all times. Anicca discards itself at all times. The anicca discards itself, states, the conditions, attributes, discard themselves at all times. Death discards itself at all times. What is it about not yielding to death, huh? That's the delusion. Deludedly fixated is the delusive attachment and delusion. Being deluded to fixate towards something that has nothing to do with fixation. Not yielding to death. That's why they hold on to the oxygen. Therefore, there is no need to win over the anicca. Just gonna create craziness all by oneself. Declination doesn't grasp itself as it is. The anicca discards itself as it is, doesn't grasp itself as it is. No grasping, even the non-grasping itself, disregard, even from the disregard itself. These will not be deluded to accept or reject anything. Without, there is no need, the delusion to choose anything particularly. No matter how narrow or how expansive it is, amidst all and everything in the way, without fixation, purified through the extinction and the emptiness as the foundation. This is not like the Buddha image that is presided over in the main hall. There are a lot of that. And so much fixated towards the existence. That's why it's not aligned with the true president. Meeting only the formed up conditions. That's why it's not truly aligned with the true foundation. No matter how it is difficult or easy to bear, disregard, even from the disregard itself, well, amidst all that, amidst suffering, amidst happiness, amidst Vedana, sensations, in the way of uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, well with it, uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, disregard, even from the disregard itself. Let there be the extinction as the foundation amidst samsara. Then it will turn into the purification of the extinction and the emptiness, which is happening automatically. Let's not search for form or formlessness elsewhere to be like a foundation. That is going to be just delusive attachments and delusion. disregard even from the disregard itself as a foundation right away, which is not like a Buddha image in the main hall. Nirodha and Nibbana as a foundation, so that being amidst everything will be in the way of purification, not in the way of being surrounded, being attacked, so that it's going to be in the way of purification through the extinction and the emptiness amidst all and everything. Be amidst all in the way of purifying instantly, not in the way of being surrounded. Involved even within the involved itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Absolutely, simultaneously, all the same. With this, it will seize the cycle as helping simultaneously for all and everything, purifying through the extinction simultaneously. Disregard. Everything is disregard. Disregard even from the disregard itself for all and everything. For all and everything. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Don't be specific. Then there will be the brightness to purify all and everything simultaneously. The mighty force of the unwinding and releasing will be helping there for all and everything simultaneously. Everything uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, for everything. Then one will not be always afraid of samsara. Everything is to be purified instantly, simultaneously. Then there will not be only about rejecting or being afraid of samsara, instead purifying samsara. Let's purify samsara instead. Don't use ไม่ as a practice. Don't use the disregard as a practice, as a viewpoint that is delusive. Disregard doesn't grasp itself either. The disregard is not itself either. So don't use it as a practice. Don't use it to attempt to disregard. Otherwise, it's going to be deludedly practicing right away. Disregard, even from the disregard itself, uninvolved with the disregard itself. The disregard is not relevant to itself. The disregard is not even itself. So don't use the disregard to attempt to disregard. Otherwise, it's gonna be an immediate, deluded practice. It's not helping through ending. It's become delusive practicing in itself. Less directly purify through the extinction and the emptiness all at once. Disregard is not even the disregard itself. The uninvolved is not about the uninvolved itself. Then it will be truly uninvolved. Don't use the disregard as the viewpoint, circling, thinking only disregard, only thinking about uninvolved. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. It's not even itself. The disregard is not even itself. Then it will unlock the titi, the deluded viewpoints. Let's purify the titi. The disregard is not itself. The uninvolved is not about anything within itself. No, it's not about anything within itself. It's not about anything within Nong itself. Don't let it become circling titi. Otherwise, something will pop up from no books. The titi creates books. Don't let it become titi. No, it's not even no itself. Don't deludedly know in this way and that way. This is not, that is not. No is not even no itself. No is not even no itself. Don't control the senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, knowing, looking and seeing. Don't control it. That which is boundless, when there is a control, it becomes like a jail, entrapment of anicca and anatta. The entrapment itself is the suffering. The disregard discards itself, the disregard doesn't grasp itself. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. This is not about grasping again and again. It's mentioned. So why control anything? The anicca doesn't grasp itself, it discards itself at all times. No exception with everything. Everything is anicca, all the same. All the form, states, conditions, attributes, manifestations, looking, seeing and knowing, feelings, thoughts, recalls, emotions, they are all anicca. Nothing is not anicca. The anicca that doesn't grasp itself, the anicca discards itself at all times. Therefore, why control anything? Why sustain anything? Sustaining that which is not grasping itself, that doesn't take in itself. The delusion to sustain becomes an entrapment of the suffering in itself. The disregard is not about anything within itself. Nothing is within the disregard itself. Uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. This is not about trying to uninvolve with anything. Uninvolved within the uninvolved itself. Disregard all the same with everything. Disregard even from the disregard itself all the same. So that there will be an opening of the senses. Being stuck with just the circling within senses and sense perceptions, sustaining it on and on, not releasing out yet. Let's share the essence all the same towards all and everything. Nothing is in anything, all the same. So that there will not be anything that is being deluded to grab anything on and on. The body or the mind, senses and sense perceptions are not about anything to be grabbed. They are all anicca and anatta. The senses are not to be grabbed in themselves. The mind is not to grab itself. no grasping, even the non-grasping itself.
กดล็อกสักที
Let's unlock
มัวแต่ไปล็อก
right
ไว้
now. Don't lock it on and
ไม่เกี่ยวกับ
on.
ตั้งไม่ตั้งนะ
That which has nothing to do with being
ไม่เกี่ยว
obligated
กับ
or
ต้องไม่
not,
ต้องลูก
or setting up or not.
เลิกกดทับสักทีสิ
Let's end all that
มัวแต่
oppression,
หลงต้องหลงตั้งมัว
being
แต่กดทับ
deluded
อยู่อย่างนั้น
to
กดทับลูกกดทับน้ำ
be obligated to set up on and on, oppressing the body and mind and conditions.
เป็นทุกข์ในตัวกดทับเอง
That is the suffering within the oppression itself.
เลิกกดทับสิ
Let's end such an act of oppression.
สิ่งที่มันไม่เกี่ยวกับตั้งไม่ตั้งลูก
That which has nothing to do with setting up or
สิ่งที่มัน
not,
ไม่เกี่ยวกับต้องไม่ต้องลูกกดล็อก
being
สักที
obligated or not. Let's unlock it now. All that delusion to
ใครในการ
oppress
กดทับเอง
is the samutai in itself, the causes of suffering and the suffering in itself.
ล้อมไปเลยมันเหมือนกันไปเลยสิสิ่งที่ไม่เกี่ยวกับตั้งไม่ตั้ง
That which is not relevant to
มันจะได้
setting up or
ใน
not,
การคลายช่วย
to be shared simultaneously and all the same towards all and everything. With this, it will be helping through the unwinding and releasing for all and everything simultaneously. That which is not relevant to setting up, then there will be no pressure. Ending the pressures. Then it will be truly disregarding even from the disregarding itself truly.